Hey, glad of you to join me here. So, it's been officially almost 1 year with my e-commerce brand. Now, give or take, maybe like 4 months, but I'm rolling with it. There's been some ups and downs, lots of them, lots of learning lessons, lots of failures, but wow, have I learned a lot, okay? And while 99% of dropshippers online barely can keep a product going for more than a month, it's pretty awesome to say that I've been able to do it for almost a year with one product. I haven't jumped products, haven't switched products, one single product. And I've documented pretty much most of it, but there is a burning question that I see all over the place, and that is e-commerce worth it? Like, after 1 year running this store, would I start another store? Would I do it again? Let me put this into perspective for you, okay? Last year, beginning of last year, I was $30,000 in credit card debt. Basically the amount of a student loan. I mean, some student loans are even more than that. I launched the store end of July, and close to 1 year later, I have paid all of that $30,000 in debt. I took a spontaneous trip to the Philippines. I bought 10 acres of land. I'm not rich. I mean, I still got a long way to go, but it's definitely a lot less stressful now. And I mean, look at, got a new desk upgrade, okay? Don't even know how much it cost me, but it's pretty awesome. And compared to my last desk, I mean, go look at the other videos. So yes, short answer is it was worth it, but I feel like there's a lot of things that people don't talk about, and I want to talk about those things. So here are some of the main things that I learned. I mean, there's way more than this, but I feel like these are things that you should definitely know when you're starting your e-commerce store. Now, before I get into them, you should definitely start your e-commerce store. Like, pause this video, go start it, and then come back and finish watching this, okay? Cool. But we'll wait, subscribe first. Good? Alright, let's go. First thing I learned, and I feel like this is the #1 thing that changed everything for me, is stop listening to the gurus and just get to work and learn while you're working on your store. Previously, the 50 stores that I failed previously were all because I was following gurus and dropshippers, okay? Those stores were basically built around dropshipping guru strategies, and not a single one of them worked, okay? I changed everything. I stopped listening to gurus and taking their advice, and this is the first store that I launched after that, and, you know, the rest is history. And I think the main reason is because they just give such surface level information that just doesn't really work. Their models are designed to put you in a mindset where you want fast money and you want to learn how to do it right now so that you buy their course, okay? And you keep buying their courses and their mentorship over and over again, and you don't get anywhere, okay? The only way to learn is by doing it yourself or learning from people that have actually had brands for years, okay? Not people that can't even keep a store up for a month. The second thing is it's so freaking easy to outwork people in this industry. Most people won't even order the product and film content themselves. Think about that for a second. How lazy do you have to be to not want to go on Amazon, spend 20 bucks, whip out your iPhone, and film a couple clips to change your life? That's just what this industry is like, okay? They don't film their own content. They just pick a random product because it's trendy. Like, girls love to purchase more than men, so I'm gonna sell a women's product even though I don't know anything about it. Launch a store, run ads, and it fails. That's usually how it goes. So, I mean, even if you do 10% more, you're miles ahead of them, okay? So, it's super easy to, I don't even consider most of the other stores I see competition. The only competition I have is other people that think like me and create brands. I don't think of dropshippers as competition. And because of that, it's pretty easy to launch a store and get it to, $5,000, $10,000 a month in revenue. Like, I feel like that's pretty easy to do. That's the initial stage of launching. The hard part is actually creating a long-term brand around a product line, whatever. Like, just think about this for a second. You have to constantly reinvent your brand and your marketing to cater to new people. And you need to continuously bring people in, and it's difficult to do. Like, there's a lot of systems that you have to put in. There's a lot of marketing channels, team building, all that stuff to kind of bring people back and keep people buying, and that is the hard part. That's the stuff I'm learning right now. But it's a totally different game than launching a store and starting at the beginning. And I feel like there's literally maybe only one YouTuber out there that has actually done this and posts YouTube content, and all the rest have never done this. So the next thing is dropshipping from China is a terrible, terrible fulfillment method for the long term in scaling. Okay, you have no control over your product. You have no control over the packaging. You have barely any control over how fast it gets there. You have returns, exchanges, and customer service with dropshipping products when you don't have control over the product is a nightmare. Okay, it's just overall not good for scaling. Okay, and I probably lost about $50,000 worth of profit that I would have made just by still dropshipping from China, because costs are way too high and it's just impossible to create a good brand dropshipping from China. The first thing you should absolutely do once you have, tested an idea and found out that it works is ordering inventory. Yeah, I get it. It sucks. Like, managing inventory, doing all that stuff, but that's e-commerce. That's literally what you're getting into running an e-commerce store. You can't avoid it, especially if you want to build a long-term brand and have people coming back for years, which is what your goal should be. Like, don't be a trash dropshipper. This kind of ties into the last one a little bit with customer complaints and stuff. If you get a customer complaint, just give them a refund and solve the problem. And yes, it sucks to lose that sale, but it sucks more having all of your payment processors freeze your money and you have no way to access it, okay? And once you get to that point, it's really hard to get out of it, and that's one thing I'm struggling with right now. Shopify held $15,000 worth of my money for 3 months. PayPal is now holding about $2,000 worth. Stripe has about $10,000 worth in reserves, and I have to sit and wait, and I can't use the money to reinvest into the business. I can't use it to improve the product or anything like that. It's just stuck, and I can't get it. Yes, you're going to have complaints. You're not going to be able to avoid every single chargeback, but if there's an opportunity for you to avoid it, you should probably just avoid it. Even if the customer's in the wrong and arguing with you and stuff like that, just the fact that they created a chargeback, even if you win the chargeback in the end because they were in the wrong, you still get penalized for it. So it's just not worth getting into it. Now, I could go on and on for another hour of things that I've learned and failed with, but I know you guys want to see the updates of the store and what's been going on recently, because that's what you guys like to see. So let's jump into that now. So my store, still doing good, okay? It's still kind of slow, in a slump, because we're kind of transitioning things right now. But things are picking up a little bit. The conversion rate jumped from like 0.6% to 1.5% because I changed the images and stuff on the site to sell more above the fold instead of below the fold, okay? And that helped a ton. But one of the, even at that conversion rate of 1.5%, the biggest struggle I've been having is costs. And that's just because our costs are continuously increasing from China. And like right now, it's about 68% of my revenue goes into just getting the product from China to the customer. That doesn't even count, the team that I'm paying or anything like that. It's just getting the product from China to the customer. And I'm just trying to find ways to do that. So I've been testing increasing the price of the product so that I can make a little bit more. I've tested, I'm also testing lowering the discount amount because I've actually I just looked last month in February, we lost close to $2,000 in revenue just because we offer discounts. And every single person that purchases on the website uses a discount pretty much. And that just lowers our margin, and we're not actually increasing the price of the product to cater to the discount. It's actually coming out of, what we'd make. So it's just been lowering our margin. So I've been testing ways to lower the costs. I still really need to use a 3PL or bulk order and stuff like that, just because it's impossible right now. But the issue is there's still issues with the product that we're fixing. The factory's taking their time and not fixing it quickly enough. Like, I talked to the factory in January. It's almost mid-March now, and I'm still going back and forth with them trying to fix the issues. And I can't order bulk until that's done. So I'm still running into that. Hired the marketer. Talked about that in the last video. Kind of having some difficulties there just because I feel like he's just trying to get more money out of me by letting things run when they're not doing well. Saying the age-old marketer saying, just let it run, it needs to test longer. Let's just let it run for a few more weeks. It needs to test. So that's what's happening there. He spent about $500, got only 2 sales, and I paid him $500 to do that. So, I mean, and at the same time, I still had my original campaigns going, and in that span, I made probably 30 orders without doing anything with my original campaigns. So it hasn't been working with the marketer. I'll test it a little bit longer, but probably not going to continue with that. The next thing is I do have a plan in the works to completely change how people interact and purchase with the store, hoping that it increases average order value and it increases conversion rates. It's totally custom coded and there's tons of like logic behind it, but that won't be done for another week. But I'm hoping that will improve things, and I think it will, but we have to test that. One thing I am struggling with a little bit, and maybe you can take something from this, is the fact that I created a brand in an industry that I have no interest in, selling a product that I have no interest in. Don't get me wrong, the money is great, but when you're trying to build a brand around something and improve product and do all this stuff, you have to have some level of interest in it. And since I don't, it's really difficult and kind of unfulfilling to like work on something that I have no interest in. So I've been dealing with that a little bit. It kind of makes me a little bit lazy when it comes to working on the product just because it's not an interesting product for me. So on the side, I'm exploring and just researching other product opportunities and stores and stuff like that that I can launch, just to maybe launch another brand that I actually have an interest in. And if I can get that to a point that this one's at, I would probably just sell this current brand, to be honest, and put it into a new brand, because I would just much rather work day in, day out on something that I'm interested in versus something that, I mean, I don't really care about. So if you take anything from that, I would definitely recommend, if you start a brand, make sure you're selling a product that you're interested in, because you're going to have to sell it for a long time. Like, plan for a year, 2, 3 years, right? But yeah, so that's where I'm at. That's where the store is at. I think we did actually just get a sale. I heard my phone buzz. Yep, we just got another order for $335 as I filmed this. Still a little slow today. We only got 3 sales, but still. 3 sales is better than nothing, baby. Am I right? You guys better go launch your store already. Stop watching my videos and get to work.